So what is going on, guys? Native93 here with another video, and today we're going to talk about this guy, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I'm going to give you guys 5 reasons, honestly, why to avoid getting this guy, because yes, it's beautiful, yes, it's the latest and greatest, yes, it's the biggest and baddest that Apple makes, but at the same time, is it worth $1,100? These are the 5 reasons why it's not, guys, so let's get it going. So there are a few reasons why I think the iPhone 12 Pro Max should be held off on in terms of purchasing it, right? So I'm gonna give you guys 5 reasons why you shouldn't purchase the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and here they are. So the first one has to be the new size and design, right? So the new size and the new design, yes, it's really pretty, yes, it's gorgeous, yes, it's taking us back to that iPhone 4 and iPhone 5 design language, but at the same time, when I grabbed this phone, it was gigantic. It was a brick, it was heavy, you know, kind of in a good way where it shows that it's a luxury item, but at the same time, do I want my phone, the way I communicate with everybody, to be this big, this squared off, this kind of like hard to hold? That's kind of the first thing that jumped out at me, right? The new design, although from afar looks great, and even when somebody's holding it looks great, in practicality, there's a reason why the iPhones went to curved sides and more easy to hold bezels and things like that, because it's just better form-fitting, and the ergonomics are just overall better for your hand, right? Your hand was made to work on curves, not straight edges. Reason number 2, right? Again, this is the most expensive iPhone Apple makes. This one starts at $1,100. Yes, I went with the cheapest one, the 128 gigabyte version, so this one was exactly $1,100 bucks, but you could spec it to $1,500 if you want. And then at the same time, now we have new categories of iPhone, right? We got the iPhone 12 mini that came out this year, that $700 price point. You can still buy the iPhone 11, you can still buy the iPhone XR, and I believe you can still buy the iPhone 8, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys, but you can even go iPhone SE. So you have a $400 to $1,500 like spectrum of prices that you can go with to get a brand new iPhone in 2020, right? And a lot of people are going to go for that middle ground. They're going to go for iPhone 11s, they're going to go for iPhone XRs, iPhone 11 minis, iPhone 12s. Not very many people are going to go with the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max because there isn't that much more that you get for that much more money, right? Because if you go from the 12 to the 12 Pro Max, that's an extra $200 or $300, right? So people want to spend their money where they see fit. And at the end of the day, Apple's just giving us a lot more options to work with at different price points. And that's what's making Apple so competitive now in the smartphone market, because it's attacking all those different price points with a single generation of phones, which is awesome to see. So this one I kind of just wanted to throw in there because even though for me it's not a huge deal, for a lot of people, especially on the Android side that saw the iPhones come out, were like, wow, I can't believe Apple's biggest and baddest phone doesn't have 120 hertz refresh rate, right? So 120 hertz refresh rate, sure, in theory is awesome. Yes, on my iPad Pro it's great, but it's not like I would miss it somewhere else. Like, I'm not seeing this phone be any slower than my iPad because the Pro has 120 hertz and the iPhone doesn't, right? So there's something with the software, the optimization, the animations that Apple puts through iOS that makes this phone feel snappy anyway. It feels as if maybe it's 90 hertz, kind of like Knoopsy said in one of his videos. So there's something about just how snappy it is. So it's probably the A14 going in there, just how the animations are run, how everything is just optimized perfectly. So Apple doesn't need to go 120 hertz. It doesn't need to kill our battery. And again, 95% of people aren't going to care. They'd rather have better battery life or maybe taking away a millisecond from snappiness with your phone, right? Because people don't really care about that. They just want their phone to work. They want their phone to last as long as possible on one charge, and that's pretty much it. So that's why the 120 hertz, I kind of was hesitant to throw it in there, but it is a reason why people aren't upgrading to the latest and greatest. Reason number 4, right? This one has to do with 5G. Right? Everywhere you saw that now 5G is real, now that Apple decided to kind of adopt it and go and put it into every single one of their phones in their new 2020 lineup. But at the same time, yes, it's awesome that it has 5G, but not a lot of people are able to take advantage of that 5G, right? I'm on T-Mobile, so I get that low-band 5G to begin with. And yeah, I got it a couple times. I'm in Tampa, which is a pretty metropolitan area, kind of city-like. Not as big as New York or like Los Angeles or Miami, but it's a pretty big city. So I got 5G in some locations, and I'll put some screenshots of the speeds that I got. Honestly, pretty decent. It surprised me, right? But at the same time, I wasn't getting them that often, and I was just back on LTE anyway. And another reason is most of us are at home anyway. So I'm on Wi-Fi 90 to 95% of my day, unless it's the weekend or I'm doing something or I'm running errands. So the 5G wasn't that important. Yes, it's impressive. Yes, it's a cool demo. You guys can see that I got 80 megabytes download speed on data, so that's cool. But at the same time, I had to be in a certain location to get it, and it was still only 80 versus that millimeter wave that you get like 1.5 gigs and even more, right? So keep that in mind with 5G. It's a cool future-proof thing to have, but for right now, in the US at least, we're still about a year or two away from everybody really starting to take advantage of it. Think about how long it took 4G LTE to get on those long frame highways through the countryside, and even now people are still on 3G, right? So for everybody to get 5G is gonna be a long time. And then lastly, guys, it is the cameras. So the cameras on this iPhone 12 Pro Max are huge, right? I remember I opened it, if you guys saw my reaction video, my impression video, the camera module is a lot bigger and it's a lot bigger than the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and it's just bigger than I expected in general, right? I was expecting it to be the same size, but yes, I heard the sensors were bigger and all that. But at the end of the day, the pictures aren't that much better, the video isn't that much better. When I take video, it's usually in a very well-lit environment. I have lights here, I have the window, so I don't really need this sensor, right? The camera's amazing, but is it really that much better than the iPhone 11 Pro Max? No, it's not. Like, unless you're doing this, or unless you are a photographer by trade and needs to have the most convenient way to get the best possible image, quickly, then sure, that's your profession, that's your trade, go for it. You need this phone, and you need the convenience of having a very good smartphone camera. If you're just an average user who's looking to take photos just for memories, or you're gonna take a video of your sports, or of your kid's sports game, right? If you're with an iPhone like 8 and higher, you're okay. Like, that's plenty, because that'll be in good lighting, it'll be during the day, it won't be anything crazy. So again, in my opinion, if you're not a photographer by trade, a videographer by trade, unless you need something to be the best camera possible in your pocket, then the camera, it's good, it's really nice, but it's not that much better than the 11 Pro Max, or even the 10s Max, or even the 10. I started this channel on the iPhone 10 from about 3 years ago, and now I'm on the 11 Pro Max, and eventually I'll transition to this guy, but for right now I'm making videos on this guy, so I can't use this camera, right? Because I gotta hold it as a prop. But again, the camera is just another incremental upgrade, but if you're in daytime, if you're in daytime, you have good lighting, and you just want to take a memory picture or a memory photo, your phone is fine. You don't need this one, right? So that's why if you're a photographer by trade, I'm going to keep saying this is worth it for you. But if not, if you're just like everybody else, just like you and me, you don't really need this camera, and you don't need to upgrade from one generation just for this camera. So like I stated, guys, there's a bunch of reasons why you should get this iPhone 12 Pro Max, and for some people it is the right way to go, but for most people, for 90 to 95% of iPhone users or cell phone users, this phone is a little bit overkill, in my opinion. Like I said, yes, it's gorgeous, yes, I love how big it is, but at the same time, it's expensive, there's cheaper alternatives, the incremental updates aren't really worth, generation to generation upgrades. So at the end of the day, if you have an 11 Pro Max or an 11, maybe even a 10s, I say maybe hold off one more year, guys, because 5G isn't there yet, and this thing, as pretty as it is going to be better next year. So those are my 5 reasons not to get it. Hopefully it kind of helped make you guys decide on whether to go for it or actually not get it and save your money. But until now, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, because I got a lot more 12 Pro Max content coming for you guys. So until next time, peace.